and welcome. Today we have Gautam with us, and Gautam will tell us how does it make sense for businesses selling online to go with a professional logistical platform like Shiprocket and not with a regular courier company. So, welcome, Gautam. Why should a company selling online should opt for a professional platform like yours and not a regular 3PL company?
I think to answer this question in a more perspective of now that we're approaching the festive season of Diwali and other festivals as well, there's opt to be a surge of shipping or logistics or orders coming through in the market. This ranges from a normalcy to about 6 times or 8 times also.
Okay.
From where it is. Able to manage this. Why it makes sense to have Shiprocket as a platform for our merchants, our brands that today use us and the others which do not also is because you have to think of Shiprocket as a layer that sits upon on top of all the third-party logistics or logistics companies and as a data layer to understand which is what is working, what is not working. Typically when the surge is so high, the network is always under a lot of pressure. So let's take an example of X number of shipments going to a city of Hyderabad instead of pin codes. There is some choking for a particular partner which happens and they can't move more orders.
Right.
But some other partners has more space and more time available. That is when this platform really makes sense to be able to understand and take actions basis data as to where the shipments which partner is the correct partner at that particular day, at that time of the day to be able to assign a new order to, so that it reaches the customer.
Right. And your past experience come handy, right?
Yeah, absolutely it does. And more than that, I think it's also happens is the technology by itself plays a very important role.
Right.
Technology, when I say technology, just to understand how the user who is actually shipping the order in the warehouse of the seller or the brand or even our warehouses uses this technology. The technology needs to be scalable. It has to be fast. It has to make the user efficient, and especially at this time, right, when you scarce resources, everything is so scarce, and then they have to build upon this technology so that they can use it quickly, they can use it intuitively to be able to process orders fast.
Right.
It doesn't break down.
Right.
I think that is also something which is very, very, very important. Beyond that, and this is true for any time of the year, but especially during this time, when a lot of things are moving around, you need to have the right analytics and the right dashboard to do that, the right reporting to do that.
Right.
The platform comes pre-built with all these things, and obviously there is a lot of experience around it, close to about 8-9 years of experience building upon that. That also is really, really helpful.
Right. And there has been the instances year after year when fulfillment centers choke, deliveries are delayed during Diwali, especially during Diwali. How are you prepared now? Because since it's growing 6 to 8 times this time of the year, how is Shiprocket prepared to cater to this growing demand?
There are several things that go into this planning, and this planning starts at least 60 days before the festive season really hits.
Okay.
So you can imagine 90 days before Diwali.
Right. It's 3 months, right? It's a quarter.
So we have to get the knowledge, get the information together, get the it starts from having the network of fulfillment centers that we service our customers with. Then going back to our 3PL partners, our logistics partners, going back to them, asking them of their capacities, giving them projections on our capacities of how many orders we will be shipping in. Say, you divide the country into top 200, 300 lanes.
Right.
Movements of the orders will happen. We go back to them. We conclude on a particular projection that we need. They prepare the capacity. They make sure that the capacity is there. For our sellers to be able to fulfill orders in timely for their buyers to get before the season actually, when they are actually expecting the orders to be there.
Right.
So that's, I think, one very important thing. And the second is obviously what I spoke about technology. Just to get this technology ready and being available, we manage the scale. There's a lot of effort which goes in terms of just managing the technology, the people in the company, the support structure that you need to be able to answer the queries of the customers, because everything has gone 6 times.
The whole ecosystem, right? Yeah.
And one thing that we've launched one of these products, which is called Engage, which is also very important in this case. And this is more important for the merchant or the brand that works with us, because again, they are going through their phase of more orders as well. So more queries of their customers are also coming.
Right.
When the queries are coming, they're coming in forms of emails or phone calls on their call center.
Yeah.
You need to reduce that. So we have built out, some softwares which are working on WhatsApp. One is the notification system.
Okay.
Telling the customer before what is happening.
Right.
It will the shipment will reach to you tomorrow, etc. Keeping them up to date about all the information. Beyond that is also managing certain questions of the customers, so that they don't land up on a phone call and they just answer the WhatsApp question is asked on WhatsApp and the answer is
right. It has to be right. Yeah, on the same page. Right.
Highly automated for us. So those things I think together essentially make a lot of sense.
Right.
For customers.
What has been the biggest challenge, biggest headache for you, and what has been your biggest lesson from the previous Diwalis?
I think every time the learning is how can you plan yourself better.
Right. Every time something could go wrong. Right.
It's
It's
logistics.
nature of the business. Right. Yeah.
It's logistics end of the day, and there are several things which go wrong. It's not just that the demand is up.
Right.
The people who are actually servicing the demand, the delivery boys of the courier companies, this is festive season for them also.
Right. Yeah.
Manpower is also crunch, and similarly in our fulfillment center. So keeping all that together, making sure all the incentives are aligned, has always been a learning and always that we prepared ourselves for.
Right. So I'll come back to the basic question of why does it make sense to hire you and not a regular player? Some brands are skeptical about opting for platform like Shiprocket, and then they say we would rather go with a local courier partner.
I think the skepticism has kind of gone away. In these years we've been in the
It's changing, right?
We've been in the industry for a very, very long time.
Right.
Just to give you a sense of things, we work with about 2.5 lakh shippers, brands, sellers, merchants, in close to about 2.5 lakh.
2.5 lakh partners, right?
And
okay.
Through our journey of running this, we've almost reached about 80 million buyers. That means delivered a shipment to an 80 million buyers. This is by scale of things. You can imagine, because we understand data, we understand our technology, we build solutions for seller. They trust us quite a lot.
Right.
And top D2C brands work with us. We can name Mama Earth, Board,
Sugar, whichever, right? Yeah.
So most of them do work with us, and smaller merchants alike also work with us.
Right.
I think that's something which is taken care of. Beyond that, I think if you look at the DNA of the company, or you look at the key value proposition that we offer is around transparency.
Right.
So a lot of the things which in logistics were largely opaque. Our job has been to make them transparent and bring them out to the consumer. The consumer in this case is the brand owner or the supply chain person of these respective companies or customers, is to get this data in such a way that they can consume it well. It's easy to understand. So when you look at our analytics or our dashboards, or even if our metrics that we put together for these supply chain people to see, they will see where this courier company is going wrong, where the customer is not taking the shipment, etc. There are several use cases. COD conversion is not happening, or a delivery is not happening in time. What is the specific reason, what they can do, and making all this actionable. It's something that's very, very important for us. And that is what the platform is. So the platform is all about transparency.
Right.
I think brands end up trusting us more because we become the trust layer beyond whatever is happening.
Right. You talked about interesting point of transparency. You said on a wealth of data, right? Data is like it solves a lot of business problems. You talked about transparency. Do you share your data with your partners, with the brands?
So again, data well utilized is actually a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So when we say data, what are we sharing? What are we sharing with our customers or our partners alike is to be able to understand how either parties can do better.
Yeah.
So let's take an example. A shipment is out for delivery. The delivery boy reaches the customer's doorstep. He makes a phone call. Customer does not answer the call.
Right.
The shipment comes back and as a return to origin, RTO, that's what. It comes back to the seller. It's a failed sale. It's a lot of revenue lost. And that accounts for around 15 to 20% depending on who the seller is. Now, when that happens, there's a lot of data within this. What happened? Can I pass
What are the reasons? Right.
Can I pass the right information? If the customer did not answer the phone call, can I nudge him on WhatsApp? Can I get that as a format, as a data format back to the platform?
Right.
Show the brand owner that, okay, the customer actually did not want the parcel. Or he did want the parcel, but the courier company was not able to deliver. Send him another parcel. So this is how the data is consumed. And when you look at it over a period of month or quarters or annually, you will understand how it is moving. And that is how data is utilized for better delivery experience to the consumer.
And it's also helping the brands, right?
Absolutely.
Eventually they would know,
if
right?
the brand is giving a good delivery experience to the customer will come back and buy from the brand.
Right. So to put things in perspective, Gautam, how many shipments do you do on a normal day, and how many shipments you do during Diwali?
So I mentioned this about 6 to 8 times.
Right.
It is something which is an industry standard. Our averages would be around not 6 to 8 times because Amazon, Flipkart, the larger marketplaces end up doing a large number of it there and doing heavy discounting.
Right.
Heavy discount or promotions.
Right.
So D2C brands are not to that level.
Right.
Our averages would go up to about 2.5%, range of 3%, 3 times.
Okay. You're on the hot seat as the head of operations. Generally, people celebrate Diwali with their families. After puja, they celebrate with their families. What is Diwali like for you? Are you in the office, or what? You have to do a lot of firefighting? How is it like for you?
Luckily, this all ends before Diwali.
Okay.
So the hardship actually ends by 2 or 3 days before Diwali.
Okay. So you have built strong processes where right you.
That is there.
That is there.
The teams, every person in the warehouse is actually putting a lot of effort to make sure that the delivery happens in time.
Right.
The sales period also ends by that time. So by the time
things settle.
By the time you approach Diwali day,
right,
or the day before Diwali, things are largely settled.
Okay.
The tough part is between that.
Okay.
Then it's about 40 days before to about 3 days before Diwali ends. That is the period where it's heavy.
Oh, okay. And then couple of days afterwards, the returns.
That's a difficult journey as well, yes.
Right.
Because a lot of things get piled up because priority is always to get delivery done first, and then RTO starts coming in, and managing that is also a challenge. And we have systems and technology to be able to successfully do it. Make sure that everything lines up and everything the reconciliation is done
right
by the end of the season.
Have returns been going up or down, or things are getting to an okay stage now?
I think return has been a problem for a very long time. Brands, customers alike are started behaving in a particular manner which is now more predictable.
Okay.
That means that customers, sellers or brands do not sell to customers who are regular defaulters.
Right. Okay.
Similarly, customers have also started ending. They will only order if they need it.
Yeah.
And there are some interesting things which are happening.
So we are evolving as a buyer, as online buyer as well as online seller, right?
Absolutely, because Amazon and Flipkart might have, might have been the front runners in
Right.
that. But with our job is to make sure that the D2C brands or the brands or the companies that we work with are able to offer a similar experience. When you offer a similar experience, your returns tend to go down as well. That's the reality.
Right. So Gautam, as we know, we have come a long way in terms of deliveries and logistics. Earlier, when somebody was saying I would deliver things in 7 days, I was like, wow. Now we deliver in 10 minutes, 20 minutes flat as well, right? But that's true to some of the bigger players. Majority of the deliveries still happen in a time frame of 7 to 10 days. How do we solve this problem? What are the challenges there?
So I think it's one of the key things to solve. The solutions are there in the market. It's really about the adoption. We've been trying to be the front runners in making sure that we are helping D2C brands or even smaller merchants and sellers alike to be able to bring reduce the time of delivery to not an average of 4.5 to 5 days to an average of 2.5 days to 3 days. Now the only way really to do this, and this is well proven by again Amazon-like marketplaces, is to be able to get inventory closer to the customer.
Right.
When you get inventory closer to the customer, you end up, there are a lot of benefits to it. First, let me explain what that really means. For a company like us, we have about 45 warehouses across the country that we have a decent network. We spread to about 14 cities, 15 cities now. And these 15 cities are the main cities where customers order from. Now, typically, if you talk about a mid-size brand, even if they place their inventory close to about 5 to 6 warehouses across the nation,
right,
they are reducing their time drastically.
Okay.
Time to delivery to the customer. Now, when you do that, there are two things which happen. One thing is the customer experience becomes very good. The second thing which happens is your returns also reduce because the customer is not able to change his decision.
Yeah.
If he's made a purchase which is, and the delivery happens quickly, you have a successful delivery to the customer. So experience of the customer improves, the returns reduce. On the cost side, the cost does not increase, the cost reduces.
Okay. By what percentage?
This is close to about 8%.
Oh, that's healthy saving, right?
You're able to move your inventory.
Right, quicker.
You're reducing your shipping charges.
Right.
Because you don't have to move now from Delhi to Bombay, but you're actually moving from Bhiwandi to the Mumbai city. So your transit time is shorter and your transportation cost is
and returns as well.
Returns are lower as well. So
right.
The overall cost reduction is about 8 to 10%. And when you're also able to show this to the customer on the front end, your conversion also improves.
Right.
So today, if you go to an Amazon app or a web page, you see the product and it tells you that you'll get it tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
That is the experience that is not available on most of the D2C or brands website.
Right.
They will tell you that you will get the shipment in 3 to 5 days.
Right.
Now, Shiprocket has the capability to be able to understand where the customer is, where the inventory is lying, make a decisive decision there and then, and show the customer that you will, or if you order in the next 3 hours, you will get the delivery in the following day, or even the same day. And in some cases now we're doing 4 hours deliveries also. So if you order from boat and you're in Delhi or Gurgaon,
right,
and you order headphones for yourself,
you'll get it same day for 5 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours. Wow.
So I think that is a very, very important thing where the industry, where the brands are looking to move, and we are happy to bring this technology and the network.
This is true for fast-moving items. This is true for everything.
So I think it's still evolving.
Right.
From a same-day delivery or next-day model, I think it goes through everywhere. From a 4-hour delivery, you would tend to have only the fast-moving.
Right. Yeah. Now we'll take some audience questions. The first question is from Vishal Khanna. His question is on bulk orders. He's asking, is it possible to deliver bulk orders same day with safety?
It's a very good question. Bulk order movement for our customers these days is something which everybody's asking for. The reason is because they want to move the shipments. Typically, want to move shipments to modern trade businesses or general trade businesses within the city. Now, the supply chain in this, where we are talking about the intra-city, that means within the city movement of goods, of bulk goods. I think what I would recommend is that they should have inventory in a fulfillment center. Now, once you have this inventory in a fulfillment center, we have this group company of ours called Rocketbox, which has now developed these intra-city relationships with different partners and built capability to allocate larger vehicles if required, even larger consignments, which are multiple larger consignments going to one vehicle into the same city, is that we are building. And it's an interesting space because we offer capabilities of insurance, because that's something which is very important.
Right, they're talking about safety, right? Yeah.
Insurance is something that we offer on the go. You can just click and take an insurance on the goods, and you can track the shipments end to end through the partner. And it also has different SOPs around safety of the goods. So to ensure safety, you need to make sure that the packaging is correct,
right.
The goods are insured, and they are basically handled properly. The network is able to do that properly today. I would recommend them to go to speak to the Rocketbox team once to be able to solve their problem.
Sure. The second question is from Archana Lakpati. She's asking how to send medicines carefully as without getting affected by temperature. As we want to extend our online pharma business all over India, seems like they're restricted to one city. They want to go nationwide now. Due to this major problem, it restricts our business in just our area only. So how does she expand?
Cold or temperature control. Typically the industry, there is temperature control, and there is where you have to maintain the temperature to a degree of 18 to 22 degrees, and then there is cold, which you have to then go to minus degrees or close to 0 degree temperature. Both the supply chains are complex supply chain, and pharma above all requires compliances as well. I am assuming this is smaller shipments.
Smaller shipments, right? Yeah.
To the consumers. Again, fulfillment will play a very important role. So taking a pharmaceutical license in different warehouses, having the inventory stored in an enclosed environment where it is temperature controlled, and then using same-day delivery models so that in transit shipments are done quickly so that the product quality does not deteriorate.
Right.
Due to change in temperature is something that that they should look at. That means have inventory, repeating myself, have inventory in warehouses, use same-day delivery to deliver goods to the customer. Then the packaging is also such that it has ice packs, etc., to be able to maintain the temperature of the goods. I would love to understand what goods these are, because pharmaceutical you will have something which is only ambient temperature has to be maintained,
right.
Which are very easy. Then there are
their injection kind of like this, right? Yeah.
You have to have different type of packaging for it. But this is pretty much possible. But the inventory still has to be closer to the customer. Doing this between cities is difficult.
It's difficult
and expensive.
Right. There are rules as well, different rules, right?
So if you are in an establishment which is, if you are selling prescribed pharmaceutical products, you need to have a pharma license within the warehouse as well.
Right. Okay.
You can't show it without having a pharmaceutical license.
Sure. So that's the end of the discussion. I'm sure our audience got really good insightful knowledge from Gautam and a lot of takeaways.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gautam.